Well, good morning, beautiful. It's a beautiful morning. It's a little gray out, and I'm just at the end of my walk along the bay, or not the bay, but Marine Stadium here in Long Beach, California, and I'm loving this gray weather. Are you? Oh, it's been so hot. It's just nice to have this reminder that darker days are coming and fall is on its way. Anyway, that's not totally what I was going to talk about today with you, but sort of, because I wanted to share a little bit about, I'm titling this, Whose Life Are You Living? Because I think that we can get really lost in our lives when we're disconnected from our own, right? The sense of feeling lost in our lives is really, if you think about being lost, it's you just don't know where you are. You don't know where your attention should be, because it's all about what you pay attention to. So you might just come into your breath, relax any tension in the body, and then make the choice, the conscious choice, just to be here and receive anything here that you're needing to hear today in this message, which is, I think a lot of us we feel really lost in our lives. We feel chronically not good enough. And I titled this teaching today based off of Joseph Campbell's poem, the one of Follow Your Bliss. And everyone knows, I have actually a poster of it in my house. This is Follow Your Bliss. And it's not just that, though. He says, if you do follow your bliss, you come to see that the life that you're living is the one you ought to be living. This life that you're living right now is, in fact, the one you ought to be living. Now, does your attention show that? Where are you placing the most valuable thing that you have in this life, which is your awareness and your loving attention? Maybe your attention feels pretty scattered right now. You can just check it out. It's Monday morning. Whether you watch this on the replay or not, you might just sense that, it's Marlene. Welcome. You might just sense where your heart is right now, like what emotions you're feeling. I don't know, it's typical on Monday to feel it's not Monday, it's Tuesday, but we were off yesterday. So it feels like Monday. A lot of you were off, and I was too. So it's like the new week. We can get really scattered in our hearts. We might feel anxious, we might feel restless, we might feel agitated when we're not feeling present to what's actually happening now. But our attention is on all of the things that we haven't done yet. Our attention is on a future that has not arrived. Leonard Cohen says, stop building monuments to a future that hasn't arrived. Where are you building your monuments right now, today, in this moment? Hopefully, if you're listening to this, you're bringing your attention, the thing that is it's the most valuable thing you have. You're bringing your attention to this talk and receiving something that's going to help you feel better and live a better life today. But think about that in other places too. Are you spending your attention, I'm thinking about money. Are you spending your attention on other people's stories on their Instagram feeds? And then comparing your life to theirs? Or Facebook? Or how often do you notice in your mind that you're comparing yourself to someone else or some other life? Right? This life that you ought to be living is somewhere else with someone else, right? Or not necessarily even with someone else, but maybe. But it's like this thing that we do that can rob us of the true happiness that's available here, is that we spend our attention on things that aren't actually real. Like being present with our people, like our kids, our partners, our colleagues, our family. Being present at a meal, being here as if your life mattered. Spending the currency of your attention here in this moment. Because when you do that, everything feels better. Whose life are you living? Are you living this one that you actually have? Or is your attention squandered? Is it halfway here and halfway in someone else's life? Are you complaining a lot about other people? Like, what a waste of time. You know, are you bitching about stuff in your life and not changing it? Like, what a waste of time. You know, choose your life. Choose it. So if you've decided to, you know, if you've decided that you're going to do this work that you're doing, for example, in your job, right? And you're not making a choice, say, to do something else, then stop complaining about it. Like, oh, thanks, Natalie. It's so good to have you here. Then stop complaining about it. Like, choose it. What in your life are you not choosing and are you at war with unconsciously? Because it's a waste of your life and your energy. You can choose what you have rather than thinking that it's somewhere else. And if you do think it's somewhere else, then make that choice and follow it. But stop staying stuck in this, like, I'm not quite where I'm supposed to be, or with who I'm supposed to be with, or doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. Like, those things matter and you should reflect on those, but then once you do, make a decision and choose it. Either choose to stay or choose to go. And then be at peace with that choice. Make your choices right. You get to do that. I could give you any choice in the world and you can make it right or wrong, right? I feel like you're directly talking to me. Oh, I'm so glad, Natalie. I trust that when this stuff comes through for me, that it's like you guys are needing to hear it, some of you in some way, so I'm happy that it's landing. We can get really, and then our mind splits, and then we wonder why we feel so like drained, or we feel so unhappy, or we feel so chronically dissatisfied. It's not your life's conditions necessarily. It's the fact that you haven't chosen what you have. It's powerful. Choose your people. Choose your kids. Not someone else's kids, not some idea of, you know, I say this because I have kids, like some idea that your kids should be some other, like comparing them to other people, or your partners too, or your friends, or whatever it is, right? You either, you know, make the change if you need to do that. And there's, man, I mean, I've made so many changes in the last 5 years of my life. Like, I honestly believe if something's not working, move on to something else. But if you're deciding to stay in it, then realize that that's a choice you're making and choose it. Start to see the benefit of it. You can always find the benefit in any choice that you've made. And start to see that. And if you're not choosing to do that, then take action in your life in a way that reflects your deepest desires and your deepest calling. But staying in the place of complaining, staying in the place of comparing, staying in the place of not good enough, that's your choice, right? And you can choose to unhook from it by being fully present in your life right now. Like fully engaging in what you're doing. What pulls us out of full engagement is this idea that it's better somewhere else, right? The grass is greener somewhere else. The grass is greener in in this thought that I'm having than what I'm doing right now. So let me go think it and not be all the way here because I'm allowing my attention to be pulled into some worry or some fear thought or story, right? So a big part of this is managing our attention and managing our mind and making the choice as often as we can in any moment that we remember to be here and choose this moment as being the most important moment in our life, worthy of our full attention. And if you string enough of those moments together, you have a deeply satisfying and nourishing life, and you come to realize that in fact, the life that you ought to be living is the one that you already are living. And so how can you choose your life today? How can you choose it? And that's it. That's today's message. And I hope it was, if you found it valuable, please do share this video. comment below as you've already done. And I love reading your comments. And by the way, the Thriving Healer starts next week, Monday. It runs from the 10th to the 20th. It's freely offered masterclass series. I'm interviewing leaders in the healing arts about what it takes to grow the calling in your heart into a prosperous life that you love. Because some of you actually really are needing to change. And you're needing to shift direction in how you're serving in the world. What is your purpose and how aligned are you with it? And if you're a natural healer and you know who you are, even if doubt's in the way and saying, well, I don't know if I really am, just the fact that you're even holding on and listening this far tells me that, yeah, you probably are. Then, it's possible that inclining your, moving towards that calling and your vocation and your work in the world is going to be a really important piece of you becoming the most amazing version of yourself, being who you really are in the world. So join that. It's thethrivinghealer.com, freely offered, and that's how you sign up. And I'd love for you to be on that. So, all right, sending you so much love and many blessings. Namaste.